Being her first grandchild, I know she loved me very much. And as you can see, I was a big baby, so there was a lot of me to love. As you know, she was a very hardworking woman, but she was also very family-oriented. I remember she would always come to every birthday celebration. She would come to every holiday gatherings, and we would go on a lot of family trips and vacations together, such as road tripping to Florida, where she would sleep talk the whole night, and to just enjoying the sun and the sandy beaches in Cuba. And as most of you know, she was an awesome singer and a great dancer. When she just loved to entertain her guests when she hosted parties, and she had a lot of parties, and I'm sure you've been to one. Unfortunately, 7 years ago, she suffered a stroke, and which led her to be in a nursery home. And I remember visiting her then, and she was able to freely move around in her bed, and she was still able to walk around with help to nearby restaurants, to local restaurants, and eat and enjoy meals with us. I remember her telling stories, telling her jokes, laughing, smiling, and just enjoying our time together. And then, but slowly, but surely, her health was getting worse. First, it was her legs, where she couldn't walk anymore, and she was on a wheelchair. But as you can see, she was still very positive, still very happy. Regardless, she was on a wheelchair, she was still able to come to birthday celebrations. She still came out to holiday gatherings, like our Christmas party that year. And she was still enjoying her time, talking, laughing, smiling, and most importantly, living. And then she wasn't able to talk, but she was still able to communicate with us through her eyes, where we would ask her simple questions and we would say blink once if yes, blink twice if no, and she was able to do that. And I know she had so much to say just by looking at her every time I visited. And then eventually she became fully disabled, where she was fully speechless and motionless. So every time I visit, she would literally not be moving. But I know she was aware of everything that was going on, and I knew she could hear everything that we were saying to her. And at this point, every visit I made, the more and more IVs I would see in her, the more machines I would see around her supporting her, and the more times I would see her struggling, trying to breathe. And then, so at this point I would ask myself, yes, my grandmother is still alive and breathing, but is she living? And I don't know, and none of us knows except for her. But what I do know is that she was a fighter. She fought so long and hard for 7 years to keep us happy. But then on Sunday, at 6:06 a.m. when she passed away, and I went to go see her at 7 o'clock, initially I was shocked. I just needed to process it. And then slowly, sadness, of course. And then when I went beside her, held her hand, just stood there watching her, a sense of ease started to come towards me, and I started to feel happiness, because it's been so long that I saw her not suffering and not struggling, just not in pain anymore. And she just looks so peaceful, and it just makes me happy knowing that she's somewhere not suffering, and she's just living again. So I know this is a sad and difficult time for all of us, and we should take the time to be sad and mourn. But I would also like to remind you let's take this time to also celebrate the beautiful life that she lived and the experiences that she experienced here on earth. So before I end, I would just like to share a video that I took 4 years ago before I went to Kuwait to teach, and this was the last time she ever spoke to me. And I know how much she loved me and how much it took for her to say these words to me.
사진 찍는 거야?
Bye, Harmony.
이거 봐. 웃어. 그렇지.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
찍었어?
아, 비디오 찍는 거야, 나?
준이 간다고? 응? 1년이 떠오르다 내년에 준이, 응? 내년에 온다고 선생님, 그 나라, 제일 부자 나라 가는 거야. 응? 준이 딸, 응? 저 시간 못 가서. 응? 간다고. 딸 해봐. 준이 딸 해. 준이 딸 해. I love you 그래 봐야지. 응? I love you. 정말 준이 때 잘했지. 엄청나게 잘했지.
And I loved you too, Harmony. Thank you.